Ladies and gentlemen, family, friends, and well-wishers, Southern Methodist University is pleased to present the 2015 candidates for graduation. Marching in place of honor at the beginning of the student procession are the 2015 PhD and doctoral candidates. This year, SMU celebrates the Year of the Student, making the proud legacy of students at the university. SMU congratulates members of today's student body for continuing and building upon a tradition of excellence. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome members of SMU's class of 1965, who are celebrating their 50th class reunion this weekend in Dallas. This special group of alumni is SMU's newest Golden Mustangs. Ladies and gentlemen, presenting representatives of the faculties of Southern Methodist University, led by Faculty Emeriti and Faculty Marshals Nathan Balke, Jody Cooley, Richard Jones, and David Rosenfield. Please stand. Ladies and gentlemen, presenting the platform party for today's celebration and the 10th president of Southern Methodist University, R. Gerald Turner. Today's gonfalon bearer is Rafif Farouk, student trustee. The Howard Lantern is carried today by Ramon Tre Palacios, president of the student body. Preceding President Turner is SMU's ceremonial mace, carried by Douglas Reinelt, President of the Faculty Senate. Please join me in greeting the platform party.
Good morning. Good morning. I am Paul Ludden, Provost and Vice President for Academic Affairs at Southern Methodist University. It is my great privilege to welcome you to the university's 100th commencement exercises. Candidates, please remain standing, and audience, if you're not risen, please rise for the invocation which is given by Reverend Dr. Stephen W. Rankin, chaplain and minister to the university. Following the invocation, please remain standing for the singing of the national anthem, led by Associate Professor and Chair of Voice from the Meadows School of the Arts, Clifton Forbes.
Let us pray. Such a glorious day to assemble here, O God, for this centennial commencement. Today especially, we note and ponder the 100 years of service of this university. We honor the vision and commitment of all those across the years who gave of themselves to serve this educational mission. And remembering them, we realize again that great is your faithfulness and steadfast love. Standing before us are our graduates. As we celebrate, we imagine how you might gather up all the talent that you have bestowed on them, how you might take all the hard work, investment, and persistence and shape it as a gift to the world. May our graduates steward well the gifts you have given them. And now, as we begin this commencement service, we ask your blessings on all gathered here and watching from a distance. For parents and grandparents, mentors and teachers, and for all who have given of themselves to usher our graduates to this day, we ask a special blessing and commend ourselves to you. Amen.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose the stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and rockets red glare, bombs bursting in air, gave proof to that night that the flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Please be seated. I want to welcome all of our students and guests to commencement, a celebration of the work and success of graduates gathered here this morning. I want to also acknowledge our guests watching the simulcast of this ceremony in Dedman Center for Lifetime Sports, Crum Auditorium, McFarland Auditorium, and Boland Plaza, as well as family and friends watching live stream of this ceremony across the globe. At this time, Ms. Elizabeth Dubray, class of 2015, will present the senior class gift. Her presentation is followed by remarks by Mr. Ramon Tres Palacios, member of the, member of the class of 2014 and 2015, this year's president of the student body.
As SMU closes a 100-year-long chapter in its history and stands at the cusp of its second century, the Centennial Class of 2015 is honored to parallel this crossroads experience with our own lives. We fondly look back over the memories from our time on the hilltop, while we simultaneously stand excited to embrace what will become of our own lives after graduation. I am very excited to announce that this year, 25% of the senior class contributed to the fund to renovate the Hughes Trigg Student Center to help provide a greater campus experience for students in the second century. Over 370 graduating seniors joined the Senior Stampede, hoping to set an example of uniting for the benefit of the SMU campus. And like the alumni that came before us, we will continue the tradition of advancing SMU's story for generations to come. Congratulations, SMU, and congratulations to the class of 2015.
My fellow Mustangs, I am excited to stand before you, the Centennial Class of Southern Methodist University. Time goes by in college years, and some people say those will be the best 4 years of your life. So, what, that's just it? Did we peak? Was that supposed to be the best part of my life? How am I gonna keep going forward? So for our sanity's check and for our own comfort, let's just tweak that phrase a little bit and say that this will be the best 4 years so far. So whether you are graduating from a double major in mathematics and dance, or a master's in business analytics from Cox, or a doctorate in education, just remember that today is a day of celebration that not only marks the end of a journey, but the beginning of new challenges that will lead us to change the world. So let's use the lessons learned, embrace and foster the relationships we've built here, and go out there to change the world. I cannot be more excited to see you in future alumni reunions, especially in 2065 when we become Golden Mustangs. So for one last time, congratulations, and as always, pony up and pony out.
Thank you, Ms. Dubray and Mr. Tres Palacios. I wish to thank at this time Maria Dixon Hall, Associate Professor and Director of Communication Studies in Meadows School of the Arts, for her challenging and inspiring message last night at the baccalaureate service. And I would now like to recognize, the presence of several groups of very special guests. First, please welcome the members of the class of 1965, our Golden Mustangs. This year marks the 50th anniversary of their graduation. In 1965, 1,230 students received degrees on a campus that consisted of 70 buildings, a teaching faculty of 261, and a fall enrollment of 8,400. This May, we are conferring 2,651 degrees, and we have 101 buildings, a faculty of 736, and a spring enrollment of 10,936. So much has changed, but we know that the members of this 50th reunion class will find themselves very much at home, both in their familiar settings and in our striking new facilities. Presenting the class of 1965 is Norman Medley.
The journey truly begins. After today, you will live out your legacy as world changers that were shaped at this great university. And we charge you to remain connected to our alma mater by coming back and giving back so in 50 years. You will stand where we do, celebrating friendships that have withstood the test of time and welcoming the sesquicentennial class of SMU family. We, of the class of 1960, are pleased to be here celebrating with the class of 2015. We rejoice at the growth and the strength of our alma mater. Would you, class, please stand again?
Thank you, Mr. Medlin. Next, I wish to recognize our current and retired faculty. For the past century, the SMU faculty has taught, mentored, and inspired generations of students who, as alumni, have applied this knowledge to lead their professions and communities throughout the world. Our current faculty has continued this valuable legacy for these students here who are about to graduate today. Through all their efforts, the university has been shaped by the faculty over the past century into an institution of distinction and impact. I now ask SMU's distinguished current and retired faculty to stand and be recognized. Colleagues. Thank you. I also wish to acknowledge those members of the Board of Trustees who are with us here this morning by asking them to stand and remain standing when their name is called. Please hold your applause until all of these trustees have been presented. I would like to introduce Michael M. Boone, Chair of the SMU Board of Trustees, William B. Armstrong, Bradley W. Brookshire, Laura Welch Bush, Jean Tower Cox, Catherine Raymond Crow, Robert H. Dedman, Bishop James E. Dorff, Antonio O. Garza Jr., Frederick B. Heggie, Ray L. Hunt, who is seated in the audience with his 50th reunion classmates, Bobby B. Lyle, David B. Miller, Connie Blass O'Neill, Jean L. Phillips, Karen H. Prothro, Richard Ware, Royce E. Wilson Sr., Rafin Farouk, student trustee, Doug Reinelt, president of the SMU Faculty Senate, and Peter A. Lodwick, SMU alumni chair. Will the audience join me in thanking these trustees and indeed all SMU trustees for their service to our university? I would now like to introduce other individuals sitting on the platform who play an important role in the SMU community. Again, please hold your applause until all have been presented. Thomas E. Berry, Vice President for Executive Affairs, Brad E. Cheese, Vice President for Development and External Affairs, Michael A. Condon, University Treasurer, Christine Regis, Vice President for Business and Finance, Paul Ward, Vice President for Legal Affairs and Government Relations, General Counsel and Secretary, Lori S. White, Vice President for Student Affairs. Also, Gary K. Brubaker, Director of the Guild Hall at SMU, David J. Chard, Dean of the Annette Caldwell Simmons School of Education and Human Development, Mark P. Christensen, Dean of the Bobby B. Lyle School of Engineering, Jennifer Collins, Dean of Dedman School of Law, Thomas DiPiero, Dean of Dedman College of Humanities and Sciences, Samuel Holland, Dean of Meadows School of the Arts, William B. Lawrence, Dean of Perkins School of Theology, Jillian M. McCombs, Dean and Director of Central University Libraries, Albert W. Nemai Jr., Dean of the Edwin L. Cox School of Business, James E. Quick, Associate Vice President for Research and Dean of Graduate Studies, and Joanne Vogel, Associate Vice President and Dean of Students. Continuing, John A. Hall, University Registrar and Executive Director of Enrollment Services, and Christy Kaiser Trail, President of SMU Staff Association. And I would also like to mention two very important members of our community, President Turner's wife, Gail, and my wife, Linda. Will you please recognize all of these individuals with your applause? As we proceed through the convocation, other members of the platform party will be introduced. And it's now my pleasure to introduce Professor Douglas Reinelt, President of the Faculty Senate.
We are honoring 10 faculty members who are retiring from SMU this year, 5 of whom are here on the platform today: Bradley Kent Carter, Anthony J. Cortez, Richard Haberman, James K. Hopkins, and Larry Palmer. As students, you of course experience the teaching excellence of your faculty on a daily basis. But as you listen to the biographies of the retiring faculty, you also will get a sense of the research, service, and other professional achievements that have made them contributing members of their disciplines as well as our university community. Citations for all retiring faculty may be read online at smu.edu/commencement. For the retiring faculty here today, I ask that they stand as I call their names and read citations about their careers. Bradley Kent Carter joined the political science faculty in Dedman College in 1970. He taught political science courses, general education courses, and graduate Master of Liberal Arts and Master of Liberal Studies courses. He served for 14 years on the Faculty Senate, including 3 terms as secretary and 1 as president, and served 19 years as chief marshal of the university with responsibility for academic ceremonies. He was twice honored as Rotunda Outstanding Professor, twice received the William M. Tate Award for Distinguished Teaching, and also received the M Award, SMU's most prestigious honor. He retires as Professor Emeritus of Political Science. Anthony Cortez. Anthony Cortez joined the sociology faculty in Dedman College in 1989, serving as Director of Mexican American Studies and Director of Ethnic Studies. His courses included race and ethnicity in the United States. He also taught at SMU in Taos. He was twice named a teaching fellow of the Carrie M. McGuire Center for Ethics and Public Responsibility. He is the author of 4 books, including Ethnic Ethics, The Restructuring of Moral Theory and Provocateur, Images of Women and Minorities in Advertising. His current research focuses on brutality against women. He retires as Professor Emeritus of Sociology. Richard Haberman. Richard Haberman joined the mathematics faculty in Dedman College in 1978. His research has involved various areas of physical applied mathematics. He published 3 mathematics textbooks, including one currently used in 125 universities. He was editor-in-chief of a book series on mathematical modeling and computation, and associate editor for the UMapp Journal of Applied Mathematics. At SMU, he served as director of both graduate and undergraduate programs in mathematics. He received the Betty McKnight Spears Endowed Teaching Excellence Award in mathematics. He retires as Professor Emeritus of Mathematics. James K. Hopkins. James K. Hopkins, professor of history in Dedman College, came to SMU in 1974. He was chair of the history department, associate dean for general education, and president of the Faculty Senate. He co-founded the Inter-Community Experience Program and was founding director of SMU in Oxford. He was named Altschuler Distinguished Teaching Professor in 2001. His honors include the M Award, Phi Beta Kappa Perrine Prize, Rotunda Teaching Awards, Scholar Teacher of the Year Award, Faculty Volunteer Award, and the Willis M. Tate Award 4 times. A longtime advisor to the President's Scholars, he received the Faculty Club's Mentor Supereminence Award in April. Also this spring, he was named the inaugural recipient of the Second Century Faculty Career Achievement Award. The author of 2 books, he retires as Professor Emeritus of History. Larry Palmer. Larry Palmer, professor of harpsichord and organ in Meadows School of the Arts and university organist, joined the SMU faculty in 1970. The author of 3 books, including Harpsichord in America, he is internationally known as performer, scholar, and teacher. He has presented concerts and recitals in more than 40 states and 6 European countries. Known for his stylish performances of Baroque music as well as contemporary works, he is the only music professor in SMU history to give 45 consecutive annual faculty recitals. He has produced a dozen solo recordings and led workshops and master classes throughout the US and Europe. He retires as Professor Emeritus of Music. Please join me in thanking these new emeriti professors for their years of dedicated service to SMU one more time. At this time, it is my pleasure and privilege to introduce Dr. R. Gerald Turner, 10th President of Southern Methodist University.
Thank you, Doug. And thank all of you for being with us, and congratulations to those family members, parents, grandparents, little brothers and sisters, maybe even children or spouses, and the ones who are most surprised to be here, the in-laws of these graduate students that are coming through. They actually have made it. Two introductions I'd like to add to that list are, I think most of you know, it's been announced, particularly those in the community here, that after 8 years of serving as provost, Paul Ludden is resigning from that position, but not from the university. He'll take a sabbatical and then be teaching in the biology department. And Lori White, Vice President for Student Affairs after 8 years, has taken a position with Washington University in St. Louis. 8 years in both of those positions is almost considered a full term, or 2 terms, as it may be, given our emphasis on 4 years here today. But the university has been well served by both of them. The whole residential commons complex developed through cooperative arrangements and work with the provost's office and with the vice president for student affairs. But I think everybody in the university community knows that the university has been blessed by these 2 individuals. We have had a tremendous provost, and we've had a great vice president for student affairs, and we wish them well and thank them. Would you join me in thanking Paul Ludden and Lori White? In a discussion that I had with students for this centennial year, and this is, in a real way, the true centennial class, because you entered in 11, the centennial of our founding, and are leaving in 15, the centennial of our opening. The class of 65 had a celebration when they graduated too, because it was the 50th anniversary. And so, as was mentioned, when you come back as Golden Mustangs, it'll be the sesquicentennial university and a celebration. And I know that many of you will plan to be here. I'll be president then in my double-digit years, but nevertheless, we had a conversation with the leaders about events surrounding the centennial. And they suggested that what we needed was a very special speaker for this historic commencement, and went on like that. I could have guessed where that conversation was headed, but I asked for examples, and they had one. George W. Bush, 43rd President of the United States. Since there wasn't a number 2, I was relieved when he said yes. My backup plan was to get a certain member of our Board of Trustees to twist his arm, but I didn't need to. Although he received his BA degree in history from Yale and his MBA from Harvard, he's a card-carrying member of the SMU family, like many of you are, because he too married in when he married Laura Welch in 1977. This is actually his second time to give the spring commencement address, the first occurring in 1999 when he was governor of Texas. He came to campus again that year as we dedicated the Fondren Library Center Laura Bush Promenade, which nearly all of you have had the opportunity to enjoy. It was his Christmas gift to Laura Bush to honor her work as a teacher and a librarian. And of course, during his second term in the White House, he and Laura chose SMU as the site of the George W. Bush Presidential Center, home of the museum, the archives, and the Institute. To date, the Bush Center has brought more than 750,000 visitors, including international dignitaries and the 4 other living U.S. presidents. Through joint programming, student internships, and the First Family's close involvement with the center and the university, the Bush Center has been an incredible asset to our campus and to our city. He's the author of a best-selling memoir, Decision Points. He also wrote a book about President George H.W. Bush entitled 41, A Portrait of My Father. But lately, he's put away his pen for a paintbrush. We all enjoyed last year's Bush Museum exhibition of his portraits of world leaders. If you looked at those, you could clearly tell those that he liked and admired and those who were found wanting. They have twin daughters, Barbara and Jenna, a son-in-law, Henry Hager, a granddaughter, Mila, and another granddaughter on the way, perhaps future graduates of SMU. So it's my honor to welcome as our 2015 Centennial Commencement Speaker, the husband of SMU trustee Laura Bush, Mila's granddad, and the 43rd President of the United States, George W. Bush.
Thank you all. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you very much. President Turner thanks members of the Board of Trustees, Provost Ludden, faculty, staff, distinguished guests, parents, and most importantly, the class of 2015. I thank you for your warm welcome, and I appreciate the invitation to be with you. You know, when I mentioned this speech to some of my pals, they were surprised I was going to give it. See, I haven't given a commencement speech since leaving office. You know, my decision is quite practical. So I got a phone call from my landlord, Gerald Turner. Rather than raising the rent or threatening to hold our security deposit, I was relieved to hear President Turner ask if I believed in free speech. I said, yeah. He said, perfect, here's your chance to give one. As a proud member of the SMU community, I am honored to be here, truly honored, to deliver the 100th Spring Commencement Address. I admire President Turner's persuasiveness and his leadership. He runs a fantastic university. It is dynamic, diverse, and destined for continued excellence. He's assembled a strong administrative team. He is supported by an engaged alumni, and he has an outstanding board of trustees. I'm fortunate to know many of the trustees. You know, for example, I'm good friends with the chairman, Mike Boone. There's one trustee I know really well. She's a proud graduate of the class of 1968 and went on to become our nation's greatest First Lady. Do me a favor and don't tell Mother. I know how much the trustees love and care for this great university. I see it firsthand when I attend the Bring Your Spouse night dinners. I also have dropped by classes on occasion. I'm very impressed by the intelligence and energy of the faculty. I want to thank you for your dedication and thank you for sharing your knowledge with the students. To reach this day, the graduates have had the support of loving families. Some of you love you so much, they're in the overflow sites across the campus. I congratulate the parents who have sacrificed to make this moment possible. It is a glorious day when your child graduates from college and a really great day for your bank account. I know the members of the class of 2015 will join me in thanking you for your love and your support. Most of all, I congratulate the members of the class of 2015. You worked hard to reach this milestone. You leave with lifelong friends and fond memories. You will always remember how much you enjoyed the right to buy a required campus meal plan. You will remember your frequent battles with the Park and Pony office. You may or may not remember those productive nights at the Barley House. You were founding members of the mighty SMU mob, bouncing like mad and watching in wonder as your then student body president, Senior Lobster, danced with joy after the Pony victories right here in Moody. You'll think back to those carefree fall game days on the boulevard, though I don't recall seeing too many of you in the stadium. Those of you who are graduating this afternoon with high honors, awards, and distinctions, I say well done. And as I like to tell the C students, you too can be president. After 4 years of sitting through lectures, I have a feeling you're not in the mood for another one. What I've learned about graduation speeches is that they're too long and rarely remembered. So I'm going to keep this short. I can't attest to how memorable it'll be. I've also learned it's important to refer to someone associated with the university. So I picked one, an SMU trustee who, by the way, is not here, Reverend Mark Craig. Now, I asked Mark to deliver the sermon at the First United Methodist Church in Austin before my second inauguration as governor of Texas. I still remember his Fort Worth twang as he talked about Moses. God called Moses to action, and Moses repeatedly found excuses not to act. Who am I that I should go to Pharaoh and bring the sons of Israel out of Egypt? Oh, my Lord, I pray, send some other person. I have sheep to tend, and the people won't believe me. I'm not a very good speaker. And he obviously was not the only one who's ever mangled the English language. Or in his case, Arabic. Fortunately, Moses recognized the call to serve something greater than himself. He answered the call, led his people, and history was made. You too will be called at some point. The question, as Mark aptly and artfully laid out, is, will you be optimistic and hopeful or pessimistic and cynical? Here are 3 reasons why you should be optimistic and hopeful. 1, you're graduating from a great university. Your SMU degree will open the door to a wide variety of career options. Millions will never have had this opportunity. SMU's laid a foundation so you can reason and continue to learn throughout your life. It has given you the tools to be productive citizens. One of the great strengths of America is our active public square. Issues are influenced by the will of the people. That is why an educated citizenry is so important to the success of our country. As SMU graduates, you are well equipped to participate in these vital debates. My hope is that you speak out on the issues that matter to you. Participate in your nation's civic life as citizens, not spectators. You'll come to learn that who you are is more important than what you have, and that you have responsibilities to your fellow citizens, your country, and your family. By taking part in American democracy, you will make our country stronger. Secondly, you're blessed to live in the greatest nation ever. Here you can strive and succeed as far as you dare to dream. It says something about our country that millions around the world are willing to leave their homes and families and risk everything to come here and realize the American dream. Their pursuit of that dream invigorates our national soul. It renews our country's character, and it adds vitality to our culture. You live in a land that is compassionate and decent. Because we believe in the rights and dignity of our own citizenry, we are committed to defending the rights and dignity of people everywhere. America has liberated millions around the world from tyranny and terror. We've helped turn the tide against deadly disease in places like Africa. In our hearts, we believe all are created equal under God. The liberty we prize is not America's gift to the world. It is Almighty God's gift to humanity. At home, there are thousands of platoons in the armies of compassion working to honor those beliefs. No matter what your career path, enlist. When you help another, you enrich your heart and you strengthen the fabric of our collective goodness. Many of you have already made service a priority in your lives by volunteering during winter, spring, and summer breaks, and completing more than 100 community projects through engaged learning. I thank you for recognizing the timeless truth of those to whom much is given, much is required. As you serve others, you can inspire others. I've been inspired by the example of many selfless servants. Winston Churchill, a leader of courage and resolve, inspired me during my presidency, and for that matter, in the post-presidency. Like Churchill, I now paint. Unlike Churchill, the painting isn't worth much without the signature. 1941, he gave a speech to the students of his old school during Britain's most trying times in World War II. It wasn't too long, and it is well remembered. Prime Minister Churchill urged, never give in, in nothing great or small, large or petty. Never give in except to convictions of honor and good sense. I hope you'll remember this advice. But there's a lesser-known passage from that speech that I also want to share with you. These are not dark days. These are great days. The greatest day of our country has ever lived. And we must all thank God that we have been allowed, each of us, according to our stations, to play a part in making these days memorable in the history of our race. When Churchill uttered these words, many had lost hope in Great Britain's chance of survival against the Nazis. Many doubted the future of freedom. Today, some doubt America's future. And they say our best days are behind us. I say, given our strengths, one of which is a bright new generation like you, these are not dark days, these are great days. And finally, you can be hopeful because there is a loving God. Whether you agree with that statement or not is your choice. It is not your government's choice. It is essential. It is essential to this nation's future that we remember that the freedom to worship who we want and how we want, or not worship at all, is a core belief of our founding. I've made my choice. I believe that the Almighty's grace and unconditional love will sustain you. I believe it will bring you joy amidst the trials of life. It will enable you to better see the beauty around you. It will provide a solid foundation amidst a rapidly changing, somewhat impersonal, technologically driven world. It will show you how to love your neighbor, forgive more easily, and approach success with humility and failure without fear. It will inspire you to honor your parents and eventually be a better spouse and parent yourself. It will help you fully grasp the value of life, all life. It will remind you that money, power, and fame are false idols. And I hope and believe that God's love will inspire you to serve others. I want to thank you for letting me share this special day with you. I wish you all the very best. Stay in touch with your friends. Love your family. Treat this day as a step toward a lifetime of learning, and go forth with confidence. May God bless you.
Thank you, President Bush, for an address that was thoughtful, entertaining, and memorable. And I promise you that when today's graduates are here as Golden Mustangs, they will remember that you took time to come and share your thoughts with them today. Thank you. The SMU faculty is charged with the responsibility of identifying individuals from all corners of the globe who, through a life of sustained accomplishment and service, represent the very highest values of SMU. Today, we honor Helen LaKelly Hunt, Irene Hirano Inoue, and Meve Leakey. More importantly, they honor us, for their distinguished accomplishments have markedly improved our society and significantly affected the quality of life that we enjoy. What we do in honoring these extraordinary individuals is to define, through them, our institutional and personal ideals that reflect discipline, creativity, tolerance, compassion, and leadership. President Turner will now confer the honorary degrees with the assistance of Professor Thomas W. Tunks, Platform Marshal.
Helen LaKelly Hunt, our alumna, is a philanthropist who promotes gender equity and social change, an educator who promotes fruitful relationships, and a writer who blends religious faith and feminism. As founder of the Sister Fund, which promotes the empowerment of women in social, political, economic, and spiritual realms, and as a catalyst for the Women Moving Millions campaign to support women's causes, Dr. Hunt has achieved exponential growth in women's philanthropy. She is the author of Faith and Feminism, A Holy Alliance, the co-author of several books on relationships, and the author of a forthcoming book from the Feminist Press. For her contributions to the empowerment of women through activism and philanthropy, Southern Methodist University is honored to confer upon Helen LaKelly Hunt the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters, honoris causa.
By the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of Southern Methodist University, and upon the recommendation of the faculty and the board, it is my honor to convey to you the degree Honorary Doctor of Letters with all the rights and privileges pertaining thereto. Congratulations.
Irene Hirano Inouye has served for more than 35 years in nonprofit administration, community education, and public affairs with culturally diverse groups. As president of the U.S.-Japan Council since 2009, she is dedicated to strengthening relations between the two countries. She previously served for 20 years as president and founding CEO of the Japanese American National Museum in Los Angeles. For her contributions to enhanced understanding of Japanese Americans and to strengthened relations between the United States and Japan, Southern Methodist University is honored to confer upon Irene Hirano Inouye the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters, honoris causa.
Thank you. By the authority vested in me of the Board of Trustees of Southern Methodist University, and upon the recommendation of the faculty and approval of the board, I now confer upon you the degree Doctor of Humane Letters. Congratulations.
Meve Leakey is the standard bearer of a family of paleoanthropologists who have dominated the field since the beginning of the 20th century. Her research interests focus on East African mammalian evolution over the past 30 million years, with an emphasis on human evolution. She currently holds research positions at the National Museums of Kenya, Stony Brook University in New York, and the Turkana Basin Institute in Nairobi. In 2002, she was named a National Geographic Explorer in Residence for her groundbreaking research, which has enhanced the understanding of our evolutionary past. Southern Methodist University is honored to confer upon Meve Leakey the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters, honoris causa.
By the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees, and with the approval of the faculty and the board, I bestow upon you the honorary degree Doctor of Humane Letters with all the rights and privileges pertaining thereto. Congratulations.
Those of you seated before me are about to graduate, and you have met all of the requirements for graduation. We are proud of each and every one of you. In a few minutes, your degrees will be conferred, and you will become alumni of this institution. Being part of the SMU family is a great privilege, and I know that each of you will take this responsibility seriously. Before we confer your degrees, let's listen to a special performance of SMU Forever by Professor Forbes, accompanied by the Imperial Brass. Professor Forbes?
I know. I will feel the trees blanket over me, strolling back in time down the boulevard. I will taste the spring when the azaleas sing, how these memories bring joy inside my heart. SMU, you will always be in my heart forever. I will taste the spring when the azaleas sing. SMU, SMU, you're in my heart forever.
Thank you, Professor Forbes, for that moving performance. The graduate degrees will now be conferred. The candidates for the degrees of Doctor of Philosophy and Doctor of Engineering will now be presented. They will be hooded by their deans.
Will the candidates for the degree Doctor of Philosophy in Dedman College rise and please remain standing? President Turner, I have the honor to present to you the candidates for the degree Doctor of Philosophy. They have completed all requirements for the degree Doctor of Philosophy, and upon recommendation of the graduate faculty of Dedman College, are presented to you for the conferring of that degree.
Will the candidates for the degrees Doctor of Philosophy and Doctor of Engineering in the Bobby B. Lyle School of Engineering please rise and remain standing? President Turner, I have the honor to present to you the candidates for the degrees Doctor of Philosophy and Doctor of Engineering. They have completed all the requirements for these degrees, and upon the recommendation of the graduate faculty of the school Bobby B. Lyle School of Engineering, are presented to you for the conferring of the degrees.
Will the candidate for the degree Doctor of Philosophy in the Annette Caldwell Simmons School of Education and Human Development rise and remain standing? President Turner, I have the honor to present to you the candidate for the degree Doctor of Philosophy. She has completed all requirements of the degree of Doctor of Philosophy, and upon recommendation of the graduate faculty of the Simmons School of Education and Human Development, is presented to you for the conferring of that degree.
Thank you, Deans. By the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of Southern Methodist University, and on your completion of all the degree requirements for your particular doctoral degree, it is now my honor to bestow upon you the appropriate doctoral degree with all the rights and privileges pertaining thereto. Congratulations, and come forward with the marshals.
The doctoral degree graduates will be led to the platform to receive their hoods and diplomas by their marshal, Professor Alexis McCrossan. These honored graduates will be announced by Professor Joseph Kabilka.
Luis. Luis Alberto Garcia. Julian Gonzalez Holguin. Karina Michelle Heckert. Megan Bond Henriksen. Abby Rose Jennings. E. Lee. Brooke Marie Morgan. Megan K. Nixon. Vida Pandaria. Bethany Gilmore Williamson. Yandan Yang. Shotong Zhu. This concludes the Dedman College Doctor of Philosophy degrees. We will now hood the Lyles School of Engineering doctoral candidates. Amir Rushdi Ali. Bilal Alkuda. Ahmad Al-Shorman. Zongfen Ah. Joseph Yumano Angno. Allah Ishmawe. Parisa Farmand. Fahege Woman. John Joseph Howard. Pengda Huang. Mehdi Mazar Atabake. John Mark Medellin. Iran Pisek. Sohal Rafiki. Dana Therese Smith. Lin Wong. Yang Yu. This concludes the Lyle School of Engineering Doctor of Philosophy. This concludes the Lyle School of Engineering Doctor of Philosophy and Doctor of Engineering degrees. We will now present the Simmons School of Education and Human Development doctoral student. The candidate previously has received her doctoral hood and diploma. This concludes the hold on to that for just a second. Let's try this. All right. Catherine LaShawn. There we go. Now I say, the candidate previously has received her doctoral hood and diploma, and this concludes the Simmons Doctor of Philosophy degrees.
The candidates for the several professional and master's degrees will now be presented by the deans of the schools in which the degrees have been earned. Please hold your applause until all candidates have been presented and the appropriate degrees have been conferred.
Will the candidates for the degrees Master of Sacred Music, Master of Divinity, Master of Theological Studies, Master of Church Ministries, Master of Arts in Ministry, and Doctor of Ministry, please rise and remain standing. President Turner, these candidates have completed the requirements of the Perkins School of Theology for their respective degrees, and upon the recommendation of the faculty of Perkins School of Theology, I present them to you for the conferring of these degrees.
Will the candidates for the Dedman School of Law rise and remain standing as your degree is called? Juris Doctor, Master of Laws, and Doctor of the Science of Law. President Turner, these candidates have completed all the requirements of their respective degrees, and upon recommendation of the faculty of the Dedman School of Law, I present them to you for the conferring of their degrees.
By the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of Southern Methodist University, and upon the completion of your degree requirements and recommendation of your faculty, I now confer upon you the appropriate professional or master's degree with all the rights and privileges pertaining thereto. Congratulations to you. And please be seated.
Will the candidates for the degrees Master of Arts, Master of Science, and Master of Science in Applied Economics and Predictive Analytics in Dedman College please rise and remain standing? President Turner, These candidates have completed all the requirements for these master's degrees, and upon recommendation of the graduate faculty of Dedman College of Humanities and Sciences, are now presented to you for the conferring of these degrees.
Will the candidates in the Meadows School of the Arts rise and remain standing as your degree or diploma is called? Master of Arts, Master of Fine Arts, Master of Music, Master of Management in International Arts Management, and Performer's Diploma in Meadows. President Turner, these candidates have completed the requirements for their respective degrees and diplomas, and upon recommendation of the graduate faculty of the Meadows School of the Arts, I present them to you for the conferring of these degrees.
Will the candidates for the degrees Master of Business Administration, Master of Science in Accounting, Master of Science in Entrepreneurship, Master of Science in Finance, Master of Science in Management, and Master of Science in Business Analytics please rise and remain standing? President Turner, these candidates have completed all requirements for their respective master's degrees, and upon the recommendation of the Cox School faculty, are presented to you now for the conferring of their degrees.
Will the candidates for the degrees Masters of Arts, Masters of Science, Masters of Science in Civil Engineering, Masters of Science in Computer Engineering, Master of Science in Electrical Engineering, Master of Science in Engineering Management, Master of Science in Environmental Engineering, Master of Science in Mechanical Engineering, Master of Science in Information Engineering and Management, Master of Science in Environmental Science, please rise and remain standing. President Turner, these candidates have completed all the requirements for the master's degrees mentioned, and upon recommendation of the graduate faculty of the Bobby B. Lyle School of Engineering, are now presented to you for the conferring of their degrees.
Will the candidates for the degree Master of Education, Master of Liberal Studies, Master of Bilingual Education, Master of Arts in Dispute Resolution, Master of Science in Counseling, Master of Science in Sport Management, and Certificate of Advanced Graduate Studies please rise and remain standing? President Turner, these candidates completed the requirements for their respective degrees and certificates, and upon recommendation of the graduate faculty of the Simmons School of Education and Human Development, I present them to you for the conferring of these degrees.
Will the candidates in the Guild Hall at SMU rise and remain standing as your degree is called? Master of Interactive Technology and Certificate in Digital Game Development. President Turner, these candidates have completed the requirements for their respective degrees and certificates, and upon recommendation of the graduate faculty of the Guild Hall at SMU, I present them to you for the conferral of their degrees.
Thank you. By the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of Southern Methodist University, and upon your completion of your degree requirements and the recommendation of your faculty, I now confer upon you the appropriate master's degree or certificate with all the rights and privileges pertaining thereto. Congratulations to you. Please be seated.
And now, the candidates for the several bachelor degrees in the undergraduate schools will be presented by the deans of the schools in which the degrees have been earned.
Will the candidates for the degrees Bachelor of Art and Bachelor of Science in Dedman College please rise and remain standing? President Turner, upon recommendation of the faculty of Dedman College of Humanities and Sciences, these candidates who have completed all graduation requirements are presented to you for the conferring of these bachelor degrees.
Will the candidates in the Meadows School of the Arts rise and remain standing as your degree is called? Bachelor of Arts, Bachelor of Fine Arts, and Bachelor of Music. President Turner, these candidates have completed the requirements for their respective degrees, and upon recommendation of the faculty of the Meadows School of the Arts, I present them to you for the conferring of their degrees.
Will the candidates for the degree Bachelor of Business Administration please rise and remain standing? President Turner, these candidates have completed all requirements for their bachelor's degree, and upon the recommendation of the faculty of the Cox School, are presented to you now for the conferring of their degrees.
Will the candidates for the following degrees in the Bobby B. Lyle School of Engineering please rise and remain standing as your degree is called? Bachelor of Arts, Bachelor of Science, Bachelor of Science in Civil Engineering, Bachelor of Science in Computer Engineering, Bachelor of Science in Electrical Engineering, Bachelor of Science in Environmental Engineering, Bachelor of Science in Environmental Sciences, and Bachelor of Science in Mechanical Engineering. President Turner, upon the recommendation of the faculty of the Bobby B. Lyle School of Engineering, these candidates have completed all their graduation requirements and are presented to you for the conferring of their degrees.
Will the candidates for the degree Bachelor of Science in the Simmons School of Education and Human Development please rise and remain standing? President Turner, these candidates have completed the requirements for their degree, and upon recommendation of the faculty of the Simmons School of Education and Human Development, I present them to you for the conferring of this degree.
Thank you, Deans. By the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of Southern Methodist University, upon the completion of your degree requirements and the recommendation of your faculty, I now confer upon you the appropriate baccalaureate degree with all the rights and privileges pertaining thereto. Congratulations to you. It is now appropriate to move your tassels from the right to the left. Graduates. Please be seated. Those of you who have just graduated have become part of our alumni organization. And as a result, we welcome you to this very important part of the community. At this time, I call upon Michael M. Boone, the chair of our Board of Trustees, to congratulate all of you for graduating today. Mike Boone.
Thank you, President Turner. As chair of the SMU Board of Trustees, it is my honor to extend to each of the 2015 graduates the board's heartfelt congratulations on this rite of passage, your graduation from SMU. We take great pride in the fact that in the not-too-distant future, you will be helping advance the stature of the university through your own accomplishments. And when you do, you will be building on the great achievements of the many outstanding graduates of SMU who have gone before you. So as we pay tribute to you today, please recognize that contrary to what you may be thinking at this very moment, the diploma that you've received today will not signify that you are finally out of here. To the contrary, it will actually signify that you are finally in. You will now be a member of the club of 120,000 plus SMU alums who live around the globe. In that regard, we have great expectations for who you will become, for what you will achieve, and for the great honor that you will bring your alma mater in the future. So we encourage you to go out and make this world a better place in which to live. Dare to be great and dream your dreams. Again, congratulations to each of you. We wish you the very best. And as we say on the hilltop, it's time to pony up.
Thank you, Mike. Individual recognition for the professional, master's, and baccalaureate degrees will take place in the schools and departments in which the degrees have been earned. We hope that you will enjoy the ceremonies this afternoon while attending these events, and hopefully it won't rain. Congratulations to you.
I now call upon Dean William B. Lawrence to give the benediction. Following the benediction, the Imperial Brass will perform strains of Varsity. During the past several years, you have participated in singing the words to the university hymn at numerous functions. Today, I invite the graduating class of 2015 and all members of our audience to reflect on special SMU memories, listening rather than singing. Following Varsity, the audience should take their seats and remain seated until after the recessional. Faculty and graduates will remain standing in place until their marshal dismisses them. And now, I would ask the entire audience to rise for the benediction, followed by the university hymn. Dean Lawrence.
And now, in this space, between the sounds of ceremony and the shouts of celebration, let us seek the blessing of the one whose best work comes in deep silence. Let us see if we can find room amid the pride in our accomplishments and the pomp of our circumstances to feel ourselves breathe. Breathe the air of a brand new era in the middle of a bright new day, where the one whose best work comes in deep silence can guide us to feel fulfilled with joy over what we once barely dared to dream. Be blessed by the memories of those who cradled us in their arms at a time when we were too young to speak words like love, and when they were too young to grasp many of its meanings. Be blessed by gratitude for the hopes of those who believed in us, even when we doubted ourselves. When we were not sure we could learn, they were determined to teach us. When we drifted away, they were determined to reach us. Be blessed by the knowledge that we would not have arrived here and will not go very far from here were we without the parents who birthed us, the grandparents who nurtured us, the friends who challenged us to take the next step, the partners who helped us turn each step into a dance, the children who have already come or are yet to come, but who will one day hear our stories about these days, and who will need our help, even if they do not ask for it. Be blessed by the presence of the one who in deep silence pleads with us now to care for ourselves, to care for our neighbors, and to care for the earth that is home to us all. Allow that one who in deep silence bestows breath, that turns a moment of birth into the gift of life, and who guards the boundary between death and life. Allow that one to break the boundaries that divide us. Then our ancestors' races, the routines of our religions, the qualities of our cultures will not separate us, but will become the bridges that connect us to ourselves, to our neighbors, and to the earth that is home for us all. Allow that one who in deep silence shared the truth with prophets and overcame their reluctance to speak like Moses, to bless us as we scatter into the world, where faults and failures can be engineered into solutions, where bland and barren spaces become the canvas for creating beauty, where faith will be intolerant of intolerance, where patterns of justice will be transformed by passion for justice, where those who migrate will be welcomed by the descendants of those who migrated, where teaching will be honored even by those reluctant to learn, where trust will be treasured even by those who are troubled, and where the only thing we will ever need openly to carry will be a determination born of deep silence to speak with hope, not for some of God's children, but for all. Amen.